Hi everyone, all of you joining us live right now. I hope you're all home and you're safe and you're happy. Today's Down to Earth with Tea is with a very special human being. Someone I did my first film with. I was only 19 when I met him. It was a very unique experience working with R Madhavan in our first film, Rehna Hai Tere Dil Mein. And I've known him now for 20 years. And we've not worked together in a film after our first film, but we've stayed in touch. And I really admire him. He's an amazing artist, as you all know, but he's also an incredible human being. And we do have a shared love for nature, something that we're going to explore today on Down to Earth with Tea.
Gotcha.
Hi!
Hi, how are you?
I was so excited and I was so nervous because some days the Wi-Fi acts up, some days the sound isn't very good, and I was like, let me go on a little early and just start the conversation to see if it's going okay.
I am nervous because of more than one reason. One, I think we are on the screen together for the first time after an Aitra Dil Mein. We've never done an interview or an ad or nothing together. Secondly, I don't think you look a day older than the first day I met you, and that's a big problem
Oh,
because you look charming and as beautiful as ever, my lady. So,
it
right.
makes me so happy to see you right now, Maddie.
Thank
I
you.
don't know what, I really, words are not adequate to express just the power of this, just being able to see each other,
Yeah.
and be able to connect at a time like this. And I'm really happy that we're meeting like this for the first time with so many people joining us to talk about something that we've never spoken about together. I actually want to start from the beginning because you've had an amazing journey so far. You've
That's great.
traveled, you've lived in different parts of the country, you've lived in different parts of the world, you've had such varied life experiences, even through the characters that you've played. But I want you to start with Jamshedpur. What was it like growing up in Jamshedpur, in a simple Tambram family, eating vegetarian food?
Yeah, I'm gonna jump right into it. I think I've had the best childhood that anybody can imagine having. I grew up in a small town called Jamshedpur, Tata Nagar at that point of time. And it was a small town. And I think it was such a small town and so impactful that I've always carried that small town boy attitude with me till date. And it served me well. Being a small town boy means that you're more aware of everybody around you. Unlike a big metropolis, you have to be involved with your neighbors' lives. You have to be involved with your friends' lives to an extent that today it seems almost interference. But at that time, it was considered caring. And when you're in a small town, one of the things that you become part of is nature, is the geography of the place, the flora and the fauna becomes part of your upbringing. The years of wiring and conditioning that you get in a place like that, if you spend, especially I spent 18, 20 years there, you learn to respect or disrespect things depending on how the people around you reacted to it. And thankfully for me, the Tatas ran the city. And from very earlier on in my life, I remember the importance of them trying to say the importance of greenery.
Yeah, I think it keeps us rooted and connected with not just. I was talking to a friend of mine last night, and he was telling me that um, environmentalism is really nothing but a reminder for all of us that all life is connected. जो रिश्ते इंसानों के बीच बनते हैं वैसे ही रिश्ते कुदरत और इंसान के बीच में बनने चाहिए. एंड व्हेन यू बिकम सेंसिटिव टू दैट symbiotic nature, that relationship, you just become a better person. You're more inclusive to everything.
Yeah, I think this the COVID era and what's happening around the world today has made everybody take a deeper look at themselves more than anything else. And A lot of priorities are becoming clearer as you go along. And I think one of the things that everybody is realizing is it's really important to be in touch with who you really are, what really makes sense. And without a doubt, for it doesn't matter which community, which religion you belong to, eventually everybody says you have to be one with nature to be at peace. I don't know if how many of us have privilege enough to actually walk amongst trees, or how many of us have had the privilege of actually walking on grass. Uh, in the few, before the COVID era. You're just walking on grass, and you'll realize you're not capable of walking on grass anymore. You've been walking with shoes so much that your feet are so sensitive that you can't do something as simple as that.
I want you to talk about the fact that you are a farmer. I don't think many people know that you are an urban farmer. You've been growing your own vegetables. I've been looking at those videos and pictures for years now with absolute envy, because it's something that I really want to do but haven't gotten around to doing yet. But this time, during this lockdown, I've become so acutely aware of how important and urgent it is for us to also start urban farming, to just be able to start growing our own food as well. Bolo, bolo,
So,
farmer kaise bane?
पहली बात तो Diya, first of all, I'm in huge admiration of you. You're one of those people who actually walk the talk. I have seen you get involved with environmental activities, and not just a pretty face trying to promote a cause. You've actually dived into it, and I've seen all that you've managed to achieve. Truly envious and a lot of respect for what you're doing. I love to see people who actually mean what they say and say what they mean, and you're one of those ladies. That's phenomenal. Secondly, yeah, I realized I have a friend of mine who actually got this, the greenery bug instilled in me. He has a house in Malaysia that I used to play. I'm a golfer, so we spend a lot of time in nature, anyways. But when I saw what he was talking about, I felt very excited because he said there is a process
When
called
was this?
hydroponics.
When was this?
This is about eight years
When
ago.
was this?
8 years ago, in about
Okay.
2012. So he said that there's a process called hydroponics where you can grow plants without having the requirement for soil. You don't have to actually need soil. You can grow it with water and put nutrients in it. For me, being a science guy, I'm like, oh, is that ever possible? And I did my research and I realized it was kind of possible, and it was actually quite a amazing way that a lot of people who didn't have fair weather throughout the year were growing vegetables. So I decided to see if I can do it in Bombay, if I can start a hydroponic garden on my terrace in Mumbai. And so I got the things that they were supposed to
It's
do.
my patch of envy. Full envy.
Yeah, yeah. So I started it. I fumbled and found it for a bit, but over a period of time, I got this set up and I got the nutrients I needed, and I started growing it. And then when the plants started to grow, and through hydroponics they grow faster. I was like, is this right? Is there something wrong with what I'm doing? Because you can't help nature grow faster. And then I realized that maybe some of the stuff that I'm putting in the water as nutrients are not are synthetic. So I decided to go for organic, nutrients to be put into the water. And I can't tell you how nature was just looking for a chance, just a little bit of love and care. And by the end of 5 months, I had capsicum, I had onions, I had garlic, I had 16 different types of tomatoes, I had muskmelon. I'm sure you've seen the videos. Watermelon. I had a rich gourd. We had snake gourd. We had kundru, cauliflower.
Cheese.
More than anything, my respect for the people who actually grow it, the agriculturists, the farmers. That's just gone through the roof, and I've been trying my best to see what I can do for them. So much so that I've actually experimented with farm. So we eat. I mean, be it
I have like
bitter
a
gourd.
background score. Maddie. Maddie. Oh, Maddie going on right now for
I
what
get so
you just
embarrassed.
said.
Yeah.
No, it's amazing. Ha! Should we go on? We can talk forever.
I know. I mean, I think
uh,
one of the things that we must address in this process is Rehna Hai Dil Mein, because I know that people have been dying to see us on screen. I can see the messages just relentless. But I think we haven't found the
it's
story yet. That is,
amazing.
yeah.
It's
And
there. We found the
yeah,
story. It's there. It's
good.
it's
Yeah, I can't
being
wait to see it.
it's
Yeah.
being cultivated.
Yeah, it needs to be then.
It's there. It has. I
Uh,
mean, we have to work together, and we are going
I
to make it
know.
happen. This is a promise we made to each
Y-
other, to everybody who's asking us why we haven't done a film together yet.
Yeah,
Please know that
we're doing our best.
we are doing our best, but also we will only work together when we can give you our best.
Dia, what drives you? I mean, I know you've asked me questions, but I want to ask you. You're just such a breath of fresh air every morning. You're out there. You seem to have a different source of energy compared to the rest of us. How do you manage that? I mean, all the goodness around you. See, I can make out it's. I mean, that glow around halo and energy of good forces around you is so evident. What do you do?
Oh God, Maddie, embarrassing me. I'm like blushing.
But it's
Uh,
true.
I don't know, Maddie. I think I've never allowed resentment and bitterness to enter my heart. I always trust everybody, and I trust the universe. I just do. Um, and I keep life simple, you know,
Yeah, it's good. Yeah,
stay rooted and connected to the core. Just find ways to reconnect with myself. I have I have lots of friends, but I have friends who come from varied fields, diverse walks of life, who keep me connected to reality. I work with organizations that keep me so in check. My reality checks on a daily basis are like intense because of this work. I think all of that, a combination of all of that. But I think most importantly, I feel like when your heart is open and you're willing to live and love and learn every day, you do okay.
I think you're very modest, and I think a lot of what you've achieved is a product of your upbringing. I'm sure your parents would have imbibed all that in you, and as a result of that, the positivity is just radiant. So continue to be this charming for us. You'll always be a source of inspiration for a lot of people. I can see the comments below, and it's just going crazy, and they all want to know your secret now, Dia.
Ah, my secret is just love.
Yeah, good for you.
Only love. But Maddie, we'll have to like wind this up now. It's been over half an hour, and I can talk to you, like I said, forever. And I'm sure everybody's felt equally inspired and motivated by what we've shared, managed to share today in this very short period of time. Leading up to World Environment Day, I'm hoping to have more conversations like this because I think it's very important for people to recognize that you don't need to be a botanist, a biologist, a scientist, an environmentalist to form a better connection with nature and just live with a little more balance.
Right.
And I think these conversations will help and are helping people. They're definitely helping me. I'm learning a lot. Every time I connect with somebody I admire and I know and I learn something new, I'm actually also glad that we didn't kind of talk about what we were going to talk about because it's made it very organic. No pun
Right.
intended.
Yeah, yeah, and I just want to say one last thing before we wind up. I know that it's going to be a very changed world when I get out there, and I'm going to say what I am going to do. I don't know if that's an advice, and I'm not in a position to give advice to anybody right now. But I do know that everybody's going to come from a great place of stress. This 3 months has broken a lot of people, has made them insecure about the future. You and I included. And
Of
I
course.
realized that, yeah, and I realized that when we go out, the one thing that will be most welcome, and I think the biggest important thing is huge amount of compassion. Is having to let people vent out what they're feeling. They're not able to vent out at home, so they'll probably vent out at you. They'll
Yeah.
probably vent out in public. They'll probably, feel insecure and angry when they meet. All I want to tell you all is that be aware of that and just be compassionate. Yeah, not
True.
everybody has been dealt the same amount of cards. So I've decided to be even more nicer if I can. I want to be even more accommodative if I can of people's eccentricities. That's going to become evident in the first few days after lockdown has been removed, and you try to struggle back to normal lives. And I think it's very important that people get aware of that. Just be assured, just be aware that the people who are going to come to work for you, your domestic help, your drivers, they're all insecure. They've just had a traumatizing experience, much more than what you've experienced. And compassion is the order of the day. And I think we can quickly, go back to normalcy if we exercise that bit of understanding.
Oh, absolutely. Compassion when we come out of the lockdown, and more compassion even now, like right now, through this time, towards other people and towards ourselves. I think it's very important for us to remember that we shouldn't be hard on ourselves as well, because this is
Yeah,
a challenging. And I'm glad you brought this up because it is Mental Health Week, and many people feel hesitant about connecting and reaching out to ask for help. Please, guys, please reach out. And I hope that in a small way, Maddie and I have been able to bring you some happiness, some joy.
yeah,
And thank you, Maddie, for being a part of this conversation.
yeah. Thank you. Pleasure entirely mine, my lady. You're such a darling. The pleasure is entirely mine at all times.
Watch E-Town News Monday to Friday at 9:30 p.m. only on Zoom.